Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show that covers all things marketing. The GSMC Marketing News Podcast gives you the latest marketing news, from what major businesses have planned for the coming year to the newest trends in advertising, from podcasts, digital and streaming, to the old standbys of radio, television, and billboards. Whether you're a marketing agent or a business trying to expand your brand, you've come to the right place. The GSMC Marketing News Podcast starts now.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jakewish, and thank you so much for joining me today. On today's podcast, we are going to be taking a look at subscription boxes. But that reminds me, before we get into today's podcast, please subscribe to this podcast because I absolutely love recording them and I absolutely love hearing from you guys about the podcast. So let's connect, hit that subscribe button and write a review down below because I love reading your reviews because it gives me inspiration for what to do on future episodes. And before I get too carried away, we also have some social media accounts you should follow, an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Twitter. So definitely check into those if you're interested on carrying on this conversation offline as well. Off the podcast as well. Obviously, social media is still online. So let's get right into today's podcast. Before we talk about subscription boxes and how they could benefit your company's marketing and your overall customer experience, I want to talk about what is new in the world of marketing. We all know that it is constantly changing and evolving, so it's always really great to start out this show with a news update. So I've been following this Netflix story for a little while now. It started a few podcast episodes ago. I also talked about it on our technology podcast, the GSMC Technology Podcast that I also host. So if you're curious about seeing that side of the story, definitely go look at it. But what I'm talking about is how Netflix has definitely been going through a bit of a hard time since Disney Plus launched. They lost 1 million subscribers to the Disney streaming service, and they've lost Friends. They're going to be losing The Office, and so a lot of people have been wondering, and I'm one of them, what is Disney going to do? And I've been wondering from both sides of what are they going to do as a tech company and what's going to happen to their marketing, because Disney has always been on top of their marketing, and so Netflix definitely either needs to step up to the level that Disney is at, or they need to figure out something new. Either way, things definitely need to start happening and definitely need to start changing. So I'll be excited to see what's going to happen there. We have a new update in the story, though. Netflix is expected to bring a mobile-only plan to India. So it's already started in India, and hopefully will be coming over to America soon here, because I'm definitely interested in this. You would only pay $3 per month just to have Netflix on your phone instead of paying for the subscription to be on your TV, your PlayStation, your laptop. You are only paying strictly for your phone. And I find it super interesting that, one, this is starting in India, and two, hasn't been really announced in the US yet, but I'm sure it's part of a testing, or they're not sure if it'd be popular enough for the US, but I definitely think it would, because I'm like, I'd subscribe to that. I would continue to subscribe to Netflix if I could only pay $3 a month just to get it on my phone, because honestly, that's what I watch it on. I watch it on my bus ride to work. I watch it before I go to bed. I know that's not the healthiest thing for me, but that's what I do. So if I could only pay $3 a month to do that, absolutely I'm going to do that. So it'll be interesting to see is if this is something that they use to push their marketing a little bit harder in the new year and kind of be like, well, you could subscribe to Disney, but do they offer you this for only $3? It'll definitely be a new way to market and sort of get around the content hole that they've been in, because we know they can't produce the same content Disney is. They got a lot of content taken away from them because of Disney Plus. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they're going to go from a price standpoint instead of a content standpoint. Let me know down below if you would pay $3 to subscribe to Netflix mobile only plan, or if you think that they should maybe just find a new way to compete with Disney and that this will not be successful for them. Speaking of Disney, they recently announced that The Mandalorian Season 2 on Disney Plus will reportedly only focus on Baby Yoda, which is, I get it, guys. This isn't the entertainment podcast. Go take a look at the entertainment podcast that we do host. But this is just hilarious because it is a marketing tactic. They saw what was the most popular aspect on the show and decided to capitalize on that. And the reason I wanted to bring this story up is because I understand this is not the entertainment podcast, but I do think it is something we should all pay attention to when it comes to our own marketing of, The Mandalorian wasn't supposed to be about Baby Yoda. To the best of my knowledge, I didn't watch it. I won't lie to you, but I've heard of Baby Yoda because Baby Yoda has now been everywhere because of The Mandalorian, and it helped boost the popularity of the show and also of Disney Plus. So it is definitely something that Disney recognized was a big hit, and is now something that they are trying to capitalize on with their marketing. So the third one I want to talk about is another streaming service. I know it's been a lot of streaming service news today, but guys, that is the world right now. It is all streaming services and subscription boxes, which we're talking about in the rest of the episode. But I want to talk about the third big player in this. We've talked about Netflix, we talked about Disney Plus, but what about Amazon Prime? And in my very humble opinion, the reason I haven't subscribed to Amazon Prime is because I've heard they have good shows like, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, The Boys, and all of that fun new content is on there. But they don't have a lot of the older content that you really just want to binge and you really just want to get into. But they're changing that. They are going to try to do what Netflix has been doing for a few years now and reboot a beloved series. Netflix has done this with One Day at a Time was an original reboot, and Gilmore Girls, and just everything. And Disney is also jumping on this bandwagon. They have the reboot of Lizzie McGuire coming out pretty soon. So definitely, we live in a reboot world. So Amazon Prime, time to get on this. And they are with the Spanish series, The Boarding School. So I've never seen the show, so I can't really comment on if it needs a reboot. And also, again, this isn't the entertainment podcast, so I won't try to bore you with entertainment news. But what I will inform you of is that this is a Spanish reboot. It's going to be filming in Spain, and it has all of the original writers who are from Spain. So it'll be interesting to see if this helps connect them with their American audience, or if this is them trying to breach out into different audiences with this reboot. So it's definitely something to look at from a marketing standpoint, because I think Amazon is also aware of the existence of Disney Plus taking their clients away from them, but they're trying to find a new way to go around it. So, we talked about Netflix going the price point route, but Amazon Prime is going to go the reboot route and try to develop some new content for a new audience that they think they might be able to target that maybe Disney isn't targeting. So let me know in the review down below or reach out through social media if you have seen The Boarding School or what you think of Amazon Prime jumping on the reboot bandwagon and if it's going to help their marketing and overall customer experience. Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and take a short break from the podcast, but when we come back, we are going to be talking about subscription boxes. I briefly talked about subscription boxes in other episodes. So if you're interested to hear about sort of where the inspiration of this episode came from, definitely go check those episodes out. But what I want to talk about in today's episode is how subscription boxes can help your company's marketing and help improve the customer experience. So stay tuned because you are listening to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jakewish, and I'll be right back.
Go Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast covers everything tech. The hottest mobile phones, tablets, games. We review it, rate it, test it. Whether you're Microsoft or Apple, Android or iPhone, we'll give it to you again. Black and white. The Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquish, and thank you so much for joining me today. Before the break, we were talking about the top 3 streaming services and what they are doing with their marketing. Obviously, at the end of 2019, people were a little taken back by Disney Plus coming onto the scene, and it left a lot of people wondering what was going to happen to Netflix and what was going to happen to Amazon Prime. So we talked about what they're doing to help fight against this Disney marketing that is obviously always excellent and amazing because Disney knows what they're doing with marketing. I always say that if you want inspiration for your marketing, take a look at Disney, because Disney 100% of the time kills it, and it is no exception with things like Baby Yoda and just all of their reboots and stuff like that. So we talked about how all 3 streaming services are doing new things with their content and how that will impact their marketing in the coming year. So now that we're back from our break, I want to jump right into the topic of today's episode. If you read our episode description, you probably already got a little bit of an understanding of what a subscription box is. And also, you've probably already heard of a subscription box, but just in case, I'll give you a quick overview. So a subscription box can either be new products that a company wants their clients and customers to try out, or it can be a customizable box that your customers get to pick from and customize to their own lifestyle every month. But basically, whichever option you choose, somebody will pay a fee once a month to have this box delivered to their door, and they get to try all the products, they get to use all the products, and they don't have to pay any additional charge for any special products in there other than the subscription fee, obviously. And then the next month, a new box will come. So it's super interesting that we now live in a world where everything is digital and can be done online, especially ordering. Ordering online has never been easier. But something that I struggle with as a consumer, and it's the reason subscription boxes appeal to me so much, is that companies have so much to offer now because of online delivery. And they have so many new products, or they have so many different variations of products that I would really love an option to just try them all and not have to order them individually or have someone pick them out for me. And that's what a subscription box offers. So what's super interesting is that more than half of online shoppers say that they subscribe to a subscription box service. And you've probably heard of a few of them. We'll talk later about the most popular ones. But a lot of them are like they'll give you shaving equipment, or they'll send you makeup or sporting equipment, or really anything you want depending on the company. So what's really interesting is that if you're a company in the U.S., like you're listening to this in the United States, 70% of all people who subscribe to subscription boxes are from the United States. So the U.S. definitely takes up a big market in the subscription box world. And that's why it's definitely something you should consider for your business, because if you're in the U.S., so are your clients. And clearly they all want subscription boxes. So maybe jump on that bandwagon. But to get in a little bit more detailed about how they can help your company, the number one thing that they can do for your company is they give you a consistent revenue that, say you only have one person subscribed to your subscription box, every month you're getting $30 from that person, no matter what. They are subscribed to it, $30 is coming out of their bank account and into yours. And it's a consistent stream of products for them to have as well. They are definitely never going to, have $30 taken away from them and then not get your products and not get to use your products. So it's great on both ends. It definitely builds customer trust and a customer-client relationship, because it's almost like you're giving them a gift every month, even if they're paying for it. Sometimes you forget you're paying for it, and then this shows up and you're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I love my FabFitFun box, or whichever one you subscribe to. So it's definitely building that customer relationship while also giving you a consistent piece of revenue coming in, which is always really, really great. It can make sure that your clients always have an accurate inventory of your products and of what is new. As I said before, there are definitely two routes to take with this. Either people are getting a customizable box every month that allows them to choose the products that they want or choose the type of products that they want. Say you're trying to sell skincare, then they can choose, if they have really oily skin or if they have really dry skin. It can definitely be customizable that way. But say that they don't understand what all of your products are, or if you have certain products that really help dry skin, but maybe they're not advertised as much as the oily skin ones, then this can be a really great way to alert them to what your accurate inventory is. And it can help you maybe push new products that you've been afraid to push before, or just coming out and maybe aren't doing as well as you thought they would in stores. A subscription box can help that product really get out to your customers. So the main thing I really want to talk about in today's episode is why a subscription box can help your marketing. So if you've never seen a subscription box, go YouTube subscription box openings. There's millions of videos, which is also why it's great for your marketing, because when people get a box, people love videotaping themselves or documenting opening the box, which is why it's really, really great. If you have a really fun box, people want to open that in front of other people and show off your product. But more importantly, even if you don't have a super fun box with like a super fun name or anything like that, your logo is going to be on top of every product that is in the box. All of the wrapping, the box itself, little bags inside. You could throw in stickers, anything you want. It is basically a giant box of your marketing goods. So when someone takes a photo of their box, your logo's all over it. And this is a little bit different from when you put your products in stores, because sometimes, a bag will get thrown out and won't be used again. Whereas a subscription box is sort of this very pretty little box that has all of your fun logos on top. And it's a way to get that brand recognition, that it's in their mind of, okay, Bananas by George always gives me a fun yellow box that is shaped like a banana, because that's their logo. And then when that person goes to a store, when that person talks to a friend, they're able to talk about your logo in a little bit more detailed because they've seen it so many times. So a subscription box is definitely a really great way to get your logo and your marketing out there in a very beautiful presentation. So definitely something to consider just overall when we think about why subscription boxes might be right for your company is if you're lacking in the way of having your customers trust your product over a similar competitor product, over a competitor's product, because there are a lot of different companies out there that are doing subscription boxes or are just doing a similar marketing idea as you. So why should they pick yours? And it's so easy as just, you can personalize it to theirs, or it could be a fun gift for them. Subscription boxes are so easy to sell to people because it makes them feel a little bit special and a little bit important that they're getting a gift from your company every month. Even though they're paying for it, it still feels like a gift, and it still feels like they're your number one customer because you took the time and the energy to carefully wrap this logo-filled box. Even though I know you didn't, and secretly they know you did too, but it still feels like it's Christmas morning every time a subscription box shows up. So why wouldn't you do a subscription box if it is right for your company? If you sell something that you don't think a subscription box would work for and that it would really just be more of a strain on your resources, then this won't be the right product for you or the right marketing technique for you. However, if you're a makeup company, a clothing company, a shaving company, or a food company, and you really just want to get your product out there, then I definitely think you should consider looking into a subscription box, because they could really help get your brand out there and get your product out there while also building customer loyalty. Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and take another short break from the podcast, but when we come back, I'm going to talk about what are the most popular subscription boxes out there, and we'll brainstorm some ideas of what subscription boxes you could create in a very beautiful, fun marketing way, and we'll just summarize everything you need to know about subscription boxes when we come back. So stay tuned, because you are listening to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquish, and I'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquish, and thank you again for joining me today. Before the break, we were talking about subscription boxes and some of the reasons they might be a good fit for your company's marketing. We talked about how every box is basically just a logo-filled surprise for your customer, that when they open it up, they just get a ton of new products that they'll love, but they also just get like smacked in the face by all of your marketing, which can be super helpful if you're just starting out, or if you're really just trying to get your name out there, or you're trying to build brand recognition and customer loyalty. We talked about how it can help give you a consistent revenue of money always coming in from these subscription boxes, and your customers are always getting your product no matter what, as long as they are subscribed, and it gives them an accurate inventory of what you actually sell versus maybe just what they see getting marketed to them. Because there are so many different people in the world that obviously you can't always just trust your one stream of marketing to work for everyone. Whereas if they can go online and customize a box, then they will be able to see a full range of your products and how they will actually be useful for them. So now that we're back, I wanted to brainstorm a few ideas and themes of what you could do for your subscription box. I talked about before the break that if you're a company that you really feel like a subscription box just wouldn't work for your product, this might maybe help generate some ideas of how it actually could. So definitely take a look at your products within line of these themes and be like, oh, maybe this would work, because not every subscription box has to come every month. They could come more than once a month. They could come once a week. Some could come once a day. That would be crazy, but I would definitely subscribe to a once a day subscription box. They could come yearly. They could come bi-monthly. It could come only on holidays, which we'll talk about. So definitely don't just root it out because you're like, I don't have enough inventory to do it every month. So the first one that we want to talk about, the first theme or idea, would be a new product box. So this would be a subscription box that people could subscribe to if they only ever want to try your new products. So it definitely wouldn't be on a tight schedule like other subscription boxes. It wouldn't come monthly. It wouldn't come weekly. It would come whenever you have new products coming in, or right before you start marketing these new products. These people would get a sneak peek to try them first. Coca-Cola is doing this right now with their 1000 Insiders subscription box, where every month they are getting, I think it's like 30 new Coke flavors delivered to their door, but it's only for a limited time. Obviously, this is only for 1,000 people as well, so they're making it super inclusive, which is something you could also do, an inclusive box of only the first 50 people get to be a part of the new products box. But I definitely think unless you're at the marketing level that Coca-Cola is at, then maybe make a new products box open for everyone so that everyone can try your new products as soon as they come out. A mystery box. So this would be super fun, and a great way to sort of be clever with your marketing would be to have, you don't get to know what's in the box, customer. We're going to deliver it to you, and it is going to be a surprise. And all of the products inside, you may have never seen us market. You may see us market them all the time. But either way, it is 100% just a surprise. And it'll be fun watching people get to guess what's going to be in their box every month, or when the box is going to show up, or if they can maybe guess online to what's going to be in the box. So it'll be a great way to kind of cross streams of, here's what the new box looks like, everybody, take your guesses. Over Instagram, you could do a post like that and really get people excited about getting their mystery box. The other theme I thought of was having an A through Z box. So once a month, for all the letters from A to Z, they will have a box delivered to them inspired by that letter. So it definitely gives you a little bit more of a limited time to do the box, and it's a super fun and kind of cheesy, cheeky theme that definitely a lot of people would gravitate towards, because it would just be so much fun guessing what makeup product starts with the letter K that month or something like that if you sell makeup. So it's definitely something you can have a little bit more fun with and be a little bit creative with, which is why just having overall themed boxes is another really great idea. If you want to do a vacation themed subscription box, if you want to do a bird themed box, if you want to do a food themed box, if you want to do a movie themed box, then you can get people to subscribe to your themed boxes, and maybe they only come every other month, or maybe they come once a year, or maybe they come twice a month. But it's definitely a little bit more of a specific box that you can put tighter dates around, rather than be like, once a month it'll come. You can say, no, only every other month are themed boxes coming. And you could combine this with other ideas of it being a mystery theme, perhaps. Like, all right, well, in October, the theme was Halloween. Who can guess what the theme's going to be in February? And then that way you don't have to do another box until February, but people are talking about it until then. So another one would be the holiday or special events boxes. This is something you would only put out once a year on the holidays, or maybe twice a year if you want to do two different ones. Say you want to do a holiday like a Christmas box, but also an anniversary box for your company. Then people are only subscribing to that service twice a month, but that means your boxes have to be that more exciting every time you do it. That if you're only doing a limited amount, you're going to go hard. They are going to be fantastic. They are going to be over the top, and they are going to give people full-sized products that you are offering in these subscription boxes. Because if you're only doing Because if you're doing it monthly or weekly, you can give samples. You can give small products. You don't have to give full-sized products. But if you're only doing it once a year, you absolutely have to give full-sized products, and it absolutely has to be worth the wait, the money, and the time that people are putting into it. So now that I've talked about what you can do with your subscription box, let's take a look at what are the top 5 most popular subscription boxes in the US right now. The first one is the Dollar Shave Club. I don't personally subscribe to this, but it is extremely popular. I know a ton of people who do, and honestly, they just market it really well. If you want an idea of how to use the Dollar Shave Club marketing for your own product, go take a look at all of their social media sites, or maybe subscribe to any of these boxes just for a month if you want to get an idea of how to build your own. The second one is the Ipsy box. I wonder if this one will be dethroned in the upcoming year because it was originally, like the first sort of makeup subscription box or like the first to get really popular. But now there are a ton. There are FabFitFun. There are Sephora has them. MAC Makeup has them. So it's definitely becoming a bit of a market that they're right now at the top of, but it'll be interesting to see if they get knocked down a little bit. The next one is Blue Apron. Blue Apron and HelloFresh were actually tied for the third spot, but Blue Apron beats HelloFresh just by that 1%, so we'll definitely count it as the third place. But Blue Apron and the HelloFresh, as you all know, is just a food delivery service that you can subscribe to. It'll deliver all of your little things for food and to cook a whole meal. So definitely a really great idea that obviously a lot of companies are being influenced by, as there are 2 companies in the top 5 most popular subscription boxes that do the same thing. The 5th one is BarkBox. So BarkBox is for your dogs. I believe it is sort of like Blue Apron and HelloFresh, but for your dogs. So a very niche market and a very cute and cuddly market, but definitely something that a lot of people would subscribe to because a lot of people want to take care of their dogs first, right? So it definitely makes sense that they're in the top 5. Okay, everyone, that is it for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot about subscription boxes. And if you end up doing a subscription box, or if you already do one, tweet me a photo or tag us on Instagram because I would love to see if you did any of these ideas that I shared on the podcast, or maybe I can get some new ideas of my own through yours. So definitely tag us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you go follow us so that we can connect off of the podcast as well and continue this conversation. So thank you for joining me today. You have been listening to the GSMC Marketing Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquish, and I'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the GSMC Marketing News Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to any podcast app and you'll find all of the shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, from business news to weird news, you'll find it all on the GSMC Podcast Network. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.